Alright, so now you have just learned about the minimum viable proposal. In other words, what are the key information that absolutely need to be seen in your sponsorship deck? Before moving forward to all the section of your sponsorship deck, we're gonna now focus on the one-pager. The one-pager is actually a dead simple page that will allow you to explain what your project is about and give the key information so actually the reader of your document can contextualize everything. Let's actually put everything in context now. As we said, sponsorship is pretty much like the human resources industry. The person which is receiving your sponsorship deck, as you can guess, has tons of other things to do and is actually receiving a lot of other sponsorship proposals. Most of them are completely unstructured, most of them have different design, and some have lack of key information, others has way too much information. At one point, it's really hard for the person to find the answer to the question that they ask themselves to see if this is an opportunity or not. So with that one pager, you want to make that person's life way easier. You want to actually give that person the ability in a snapshot to get what your project is about and decide if they should invest more time reading it. And it's actually the same as we said when we're talking about the fact that there is always a human being behind each proposal and each company. If you remember, when you're building your sponsorship deck, you actually have two main outcomes in mind. The first one is to have a follow-up from the company that you just contacted. And the second one is to give as much result as possible to the reader of your document so that person can actually internally spread it and internally be able to talk about it in a proper way. Your one-pager will help with that. Your one-pager will be the snapshot that that person will be referring to when they actually want to talk about your project. Your one-pager will be the page that that person may actually distribute internally, and it's going to be at the top of your sponsorship proposal. As you can guess, the people that doesn't truly are there to only focus on sponsorship will not read your entire deck. So having that one-pager on the top of it will help them actually truly get what this is all about and decide again if they should first invest time in talking with you. So what should be seen in your one-pager? It's pretty simple. First, you have to know that your one-pager, just like the design of your sponsorship deck, should be as readable as possible and as beautiful in terms of design as possible. You want to make it stand out. Of course, it's not the cover page. The cover page is something different, but your one-pager, again, may be a page that is the most seen in your sponsorship proposal. So you want it clean, you want it simple, and you want it structured. What should be inside is pretty simple. First, you're going to explain your project in one phrase. It's not a marketing phrase. It's not something where you want the reader to dream about. It's something that is really simple and explain what your project is about. In the resources that we share, there's a lot of examples you can get inspired by. The second thing you want is to contextualize everything with a time frame. So if you're an event, what's the date of your event? If you are an athlete, what's the season you're looking for a sponsor for? And if you are a venue, for example, what is the time frame of the sponsorship opportunities? Is it for 6 months, for 1 year, etc., etc.? Third thing you want, and that also helps contextualizing, you want to actually give more information about the location, about the scope of that project. If you are an event, where is the city? Where does the event take place? If you're a venue, where are you located? If you're a series of venue, where are this venue located? Is it mainly in Europe, mainly in the US, etc., etc.? And if it's global, just say it's global. Then what you want, and that's my personal touch, you want a key phrase that explains what's in it for the sponsors, what you try to achieve with them with that sponsorship deck and with that event. Having that phrase will actually make them want to read more. And again, in the resources below, we give a lot of examples you can get inspired by. Once you're done with that, what you want is probably an image that inspires the reader, something that truly relates to your project. And once you have that image, everything is good. you have your one pager and you can move forward to the project section.